Okay, so this video is just simply going to be about how to outline the discrepancies, inaccuracies, or whatever that you are disputing on your dispute letter. So Capital One has a pretty decent card called the Platinum. The Capital Pay, so I like to give stuff away, and I like to pass around a way to get those collections removed off your credit. Did you know that most collection clients receive the star letters or star email? Now, AI can do this, but however, the credit bureaus have a software that can pick up if your letters have been created by AI. So that could kind of put you in the dud category. So not knocking AI, it definitely has its place. And yes, I do use a bit of AI, but of course, I always put my own sauce on it. So my letters are not going to be like 100% AI, not even 50% AI. So anyway, so this is a simple bankruptcy letter where I'm just freshly starting to dispute a bankruptcy. Okay, and so as you can see, that this letter is addressed to TransUnion. So this isn't just the typical TransUnion dispute address. This is the dispute address to TransUnion's legal department. Because the bankruptcy is public record, it still doesn't negate the fact that it is a legal record. So we want to address their legal department. Okay, so this is going to be an address where you're going to want to send all of your legal addressing dispute letters. So you can even send an intent to sue letter here. I've gotten some really good progress doing that, but I do get better progress when I'm sending an intent to sue letter to the registered agents. This is simple verbiage here. As you can see, this is not a long letter. This doesn't need to be a long letter. We don't need a 12-page or 7-page letter or anything like that. Like I honestly think that you need any of that with any of your dispute letters, honestly. Okay, so real quick, here's the letter, and I'll just read you some verbiage. You can take a screenshot or whatever, if this helps you, this can be a template for your starting point, and you can remix this letter to make it what you want it to be. So I'll read some of it. I'm not going to read all of it. So reason: investigation request to delete bankruptcy data not certifiably compliant and proven valid and or not documented as fully true and physically verified. So that verbiage there is very important because it kind of gets to the meat and potatoes as to why I'm even disputing this bankruptcy. To whom it may concern, I am formally disputing the bankruptcy information and reporting contained in my credit file. As a consumer, I assert my rights and insist that you report only information that is true, factual, correct, current, and verified. Specifically, I am contesting the inclusion of bankruptcy information that I believe is deficiently reporting. I demand the immediately release and dismissal of any such information. Furthermore, I am formally requesting a complete investigation into the source of these accounts. It is crucial to ascertain whether the data furnishers has a permissible purpose for reporting the bankruptcy accounts, regardless of their validity or truthfulness. Okay, so you have to think about your dispute letters before you make them, create them, let AI create them. Just because AI creates your dispute letter does not mean don't read your dispute letter, because AI can make mistakes as well. Or like if you use AI, it may not specify exactly what you want them to specify. So don't just kind of just wing it when you're using like AI to create your dispute letters. If that's what you're doing, make sure that you're reading your letters and you're making them your own, because it may not be saying what you need it to say. So just, that little tidbit in there. So pretty much the very first paragraph, I'm going to get straight down to the point. Now, the other stuff there is just extra, okay? It's extra, it's verbiage, there's some law there. It kind of reiterates what the first paragraph is. So I'm saying all that to say this: I'm getting straight to the point of the letter in the very first paragraph, okay? All that other stuff It's just extra stuff and it's not necessarily necessary. But I want my letter to be at least a page long. So ground one, round one. So the bankruptcy is a chapter 13 bankruptcy. So here on this grid is where I go in to specify exactly what it is I'm disputing and why. Okay, so here where it says bankruptcy chapter 13, my dispute reason for this is going to be here, and it simply says error, please validate this, because that's the first thing that I want them to do. Because what it is this: LexisNexis may sell this information over to the credit bureaus, but however, it is the credit bureau's responsibility to match that bankruptcy to you specifically. Okay, and so that's where we can get them at a lot of times, is simply matching that bankruptcy to you without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, so here for status, it is a discharge bankruptcy. So I want to put something here. This is going to be my dispute reason for this. Error, please validate this. Okay, so once again, they have to validate this information. So here where it says date file, this is the date file that TransUnion is reporting on this account. But however, it's not what's reporting on the client's actual court documents. So we're going to put for our dispute reason here, error, fraudulent date. So when you're disputing your bankruptcy, make sure that you get your actual court files. So when you're disputing a bankruptcy, make sure that you get your actual court documents, put them side by side to your credit report so you can really find real discrepancies on it. Okay, so you're not going to say, oh, this is the wrong date. The date is supposed to be XYZ. You never tell them the correct information, but you challenge the incorrect information. So for reference numbers, we know here that a lot of the credit bureaus like to add like dates and different abbreviations on the end or the beginning of reference numbers. It shouldn't be reporting like that on your credit report. That is misrepresentation. It makes it actually a fraudulent reference number or incorrect reference number. So of course here I'm going to say error, inaccurate, fraudulent reference number. Okay, so the date settled here. If there's something there to challenge, I'm challenging that as well. So, and if not, then I'm still going to challenge them to validate this, because they have to, by law, send you documentation showing you how they verified something. They can't just send you a letter saying that they verified it and be done with it. If they do, as soon as you get that, you make copies of that along with everything, and you send that stuff over to their registered agent to make them comply or take it off your credit report. So last but not least, this is like a favorite here, where it always says that the U.S. bankruptcy court or federal court, or it'll name like the court of your state. So we always know that that is incorrect, because the courts are not the data furnisher. So here I'm going to say falsify remarks by data furnisher. So as you can see, this initial dispute letter here packs a mighty punch, because we have multiple dispute reasons, multiple discrepancies there that we are actually disputing. So it makes for a really powerful dispute letter, especially for your first round. So when you're disputing your bankruptcy, keep your letter short and sweet and straight to the point. Now, with this particular letter, I'm not only going to send it to TransUnion if it's reporting with Innovis or Experian or Equifax. I'm going to create the same letter. I'm just going to basically copy it, and I'm going to send it out to all of the bureaus, including LexisNexis, LCI, Clarity Services, DataX, and so forth. So with this particular strategy that I'm using with this particular client, I'm not going to send disputes out to just the consumer reporting agencies first and then wait. That's a totally different strategy. But this particular strategy, I'm going to send out this dispute letter to all the consumer reporting agencies and the credit bureaus at the same time. So this one is kind of what I call just shaking the tree to see what falls off first, because what's going to happen is either the credit bureaus receive this, either they're going to say that this is verified, or they're actually going to take the bankruptcy off or update information. They're going to take action. So that kind of gets us a little bit ahead of the game, whereas the other strategy that I speak about a lot, it's a more strategic, time consuming strategy, but it does good results as well. But so with this one in particular, the client like wants to purchase a home in February, so I'm kind of like, I want to go in like really hard and really strategic at the same time. So while I'm disputing with the bureaus, I'm going to be waiting to hear back from LexisNexis to see if they're deleting anything, and all that, because it can go far to where they're, it's like CFPB complaints that I may have to file next month, or registered agents, or God knows how this is going to go, or the stuff just may fall off the report. You never know until you kind of get in there and start disputing. So I hope this helped you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the description. I'm always here to help as much as I can. Like I say all the time, I don't know everything about disputing. I just like to share what I have been using so far and what works for us, what doesn't work. I kind of just put it on the shelf. All right. And so, another disclaimer, and also remember that nothing in credit repair is 100% guaranteed. Okay, so the strategies that I'm showing for you are just strategies that have worked for us. These strategies do not work with absolutely every single client in every single case for us. So that's why we have many different strategies. So it's not 100%. This strategy may work to get maybe your bankruptcy removed off of 2 or 3 bureaus, but it may leave one, or it may, Equifax may be stubborn and you may have to switch and do a different strategy. So it's all about just strategy. It's not it's not a 100%, and I'm never going to tell you that it's 100% guaranteed to remove everything negative off your credit, because that's not real life. It just doesn't happen like that, and I would never give you unrealistic expectations to think that. Beauty is just simply all about, taking what you got and fighting with it. So with bankruptcy, I mean, we're fighting with Innovis, LexisNexis, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, Clarity Services, DataX. So we're in like maybe like 9 fights for the same cause at the same time, and so these are all separate companies. So everyone is not just gonna bow down and comply and delete all at the same time. I mean, when that happens, we know that we have a miracle on our hands. So just keep going, keep switching up your strategies, and persistence is the key to all disputing. I literally live by it. So I hope this video helped you. Leave your questions in the comments. If you want to book a free consultation, feel free to do so as well. And I'll talk to you guys soon.